What's something normal to us in 2025 that by 2075 will be seen as barbaric? Wow, people really used to do that 50 years ago. I've heard people say that current medical dramas will qualify as horror shows when compared to medicine of the future. I tried to think of what a medical drama in 1925 would look like, and yeah, that tracks. Dialysis? What is this? The Dark Ages. Dr. Bones McCoy. I'm a dialysis nurse. I think about this scene often. I mean, I love my job and I think dialysis is super fun, for me, on the medical side. But if this pill was real, I would hand deliver the pills to my patients. I would show up early at work. I'd deliver it to their homes. I would be so excited. It'd be like the best day ever. I am grateful we have dialysis now. It's better than what we had before, but I hope for a future without it. It won't take 50 years. Went to donate blood the other day and they stuck this weird little device on my finger that got my hemoglobin number where before they stabbed my finger. Medical advances are made every day, we just don't notice. God, I love that thing. Worst part for me about donating blood was that damn finger pricker LMAO. Gimme the big needle every day. I also love the auto blood pressure cuff as I get white coat syndrome at the center, and the auto cuff doesn't trigger it unlike the person touching me does. Here I was thinking I'm the weird one that actually gets a little anxious about the finger prick but has no issue with the big needle. Hopefully, using your children to create content on social media so it can be monetized. We can exploit our AI-generated offspring projected children instead. Now how can I make my theoretical child most optimal for the algorithm? Use plastic round food all the time, food in plastic packaging, cutting food on plastic cutting boards, drinking from plastic straws, from plastic bottles, plastic everywhere all the time. An even bigger problem is plastic textiles. IRC. Something like 40% of all microplastic contamination originates as polyester or other synthetic fibers. And the other majority share comes from tires, road dust. Pretty much every other source of microplastics pales in comparison to those two. Dying from cancer, hopefully. Even just the way we treat cancer. Let's poison you and hope the cancer dies before you. There are many cancers that have gene-targeted therapy now, where the medicine, most often a pill, targets the specific gene causing the cancer, and thus no chemo needed. Granted, this pill only works until the cancer mutates and works around it, but cancer treatment has come a long way, and tons of very promising research and treatments on the horizon. Source: Wife has stage 4, and thanks to this new therapy, chemo not needed, life expectancy went from 2 years max to 8.6 years average, with the average increasing each year, and quality of life largely unchanged. She is essentially cancer-free. Not giving anesthesia with placing IUDs. Agreed more than anything else under this post. When I was a college student, they gave me a low dose of Advil Tylenol and nothing else. And I didn't know at the time to ask for anything else because I was young and the pain was downplayed. Worst pain of my life, and the pain continued like that for about a week before it started easing. Couldn't sit upright for at least 48 hours and OTC meds did nothing to help. I was unexpectedly out of work and classes for the days following. I 100% should have been given both local anesthesia and real pain meds to deal with the post-procedure pain. In general, medicine, and gynecology specifically, often does not appropriately care for the pain levels of women. There have been countless studies on the fact that doctors, of both sexes, are more responsive to male complaints of pain than female complaints. Pain for women is normalized in medicine, gynecological settings, and the female reproductive system when it shouldn't always be. I had an unexpected uterine biopsy on Monday, thought they were just doing an ultrasound, and the pain was almost as bad as giving birth, thankfully much shorter duration, but good grief. Why is this done without anesthesia? Because some a-hole's doctor who hates women claimed they can't feel pain there, and people refuse to accept what's in their face when doing it. Animal captivity for entertainment, drug dolphins in resorts, whales at SeaWorld, and the scale at which we farm animals in factories and decimate ocean life, it's in the 100 billions. It's repulsive, the way we treat animals. In the same vein, the amount of animal meat we eat. There will be lots of other options that don't require farming and killing animals for meat. There are many things in the post that we'll look back on in disgust or surprise, but factory farms are the one truly barbaric thing that is completely normalized in current times. Factory farms are the worst hell on earth that humans have ever created. We breed literally billions of animals into existence, give them short, horrible lives, and then brutally slaughter them. Spending multiple hours, every day, scrolling mindlessly on social media. Ironically scrolled away to find this one. As an orthopedic surgeon, I always think people will cringe in the future at what is routine now. You used to drill rods and screws into broken bones? What the heck were you all thinking? I pray for either injectable bone healing bots or some Star Trek device that helps regenerate new tissue. I'd like a lab-grown pancreas, please, with my own cells and whatnot so my body thinks it's mine and accepts it readily. It would be great if we could regenerate spinal discs. Degenerative disc disease is not fun. Drilling teeth. If that new shot from Japan works, this totally could be the case. Pull the tooth, get injection, grow new tooth. I've already seen 3 different wonder cures for dental regrowth not pan out. Not holding out hope. I'm sure people said the same thing about cures for various ailments we now consider trivial to treat. I'm hopeful. I hate the dentist. Not the person, he's a good guy. I just hate what he does to me, lol. Working a 9 to 5. Came here to say this. The 40-hour work week. I hope so, but at the rate we're going they'll probably have us on a 60-hour work week. Medical bankruptcies, for-profit healthcare leaving people to die if uninsured. The way we treat people with disabilities. The way the USA's disability benefit system currently works. It's insane that people with disabilities who receive government assistance can't have shit for assets or income. Even if you can work, they give you a strong incentive not to. Hopefully in 2075 it will seem barbaric to fight a war. War is always barbaric, and thinking that humanity will grow out of it, or will eventually find it to be beneath them, is naive. Treating people suffering from chronic pain as drug-seeking junkies. It would be amazing if there were to be advances in medicine that completely allow for effective treatment of it without hurting the patient. I'd like to think that chronic pain can be cured, but that is probably not realistic unless humanity's ability to control the central nervous system makes some very major advances. Probably driving ourselves. At least by the turn of the new century. The only people who drive themselves will be enthusiasts with a niche hobby until it's outlawed completely, as humans are simply far more prone to error than computers are. I strip away the old debris that hides a shining car. A brilliant red barchetta from a better vanished time. I fire up the willing engine responding with a roar. Tires spitting gravel, I commit my weekly crime. The infant adoption industry in the US, hopefully. There are race-based price lists. My own heritage was taken off the paperwork because I was worth up to $60,000 without it. My adoptive parents waited years and years for a white-abled baby, then settled for me instead. This industry is part of the reason Roe v. Wade was overturned. It's a mostly unregulated industry that profits off of selling babies, literally. The few laws we do have were put in place by a woman named Georgia Tann. She was a posthumously convicted child trafficker and pedophile who would steal children from young or marginalized women and sell them to rich infertile couples. She kidnapped kids from hospitals and preschools. The laws were put in place by wealthy politicians to help her hide her thousands of kidnappings, through closing adoptions and rewriting our birth certificates. The lawmakers received children from her as a bribe payment. She is the mother of modern-day adoption, and the reason I don't have the right to obtain my original birth certificate. Wiping our asses with toilet paper. Get a bidet. I'm already living in the future. I hope by 2075 there is an EKG vest that replaces the need to stick sensors on flesh, over chest and belly hair. I know not all bodies are the same, but this magic vest would accommodate. Circumcision, especially when it's done for merely cultural reasons. Maybe talking about how everyone used to have a smartphone and would stare at it all day. How could anyone tolerate those things when we are now using our fingers, or even our minds, to create a user interface by swiping in the air? I wonder how life was when you didn't get commercials in your dreams. What will be seen as barbaric 50 years from now? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.